I lived on the street for a year. I was homeless, living in my car. So that's why this program, Project Care, is just so unbelievable. You know, I'm off the streets. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a support system, you know, that helps me out with case management, so we can deal with all my problems, my psychiatric problems, my physical problems. I know I have all these people in place that I can call at any time and get some support, vent, you know, if I'm really, you know, out of whack and just need to get focused, refocused. So this program has just been phenomenal for me.
I had been living off and on in a tunnel. I had lived in the streets, all kinds of stuff, and people's vehicles, my vehicle. I mean, I just, you know, moved around. I was really sick, and emotionally and mentally. And my case manager and Stephen Osborne, that's a lot around here, and Stephen Osborne from RADAC got me an interview with Joseph and MLM last November, or October, November, and they called me in January, the beginning of January, and told me that I could move in, that I had been approved, which was awesome, you know, awesome. It's helping me gain some stable footing. I go to KCK College now.
You know, I started with nothing, you know. I was homeless and stuff. I first came here, did the program and stuff, and had nothing. So now I got my house and got my apartment, got my car and stuff. It blessed me, you know, helped me out here a lot.
They serve pancakes, sausage, and eggs. It never fails. You know, I go to other places and they serve peanut butter and bread or coffee with maybe some canned peaches or some donuts and pastries. But this is kind of upscale. It's kind of, you know, I've been to Chubby's and I'll sit down and pay a lot of money for the breakfast that they serve here, you know? And the people that are serving it. They're not like dishing it out and like, oh, here you go. It's like, how may I help you? What else do you want? What can I get you? And it feels good.
So right now, being I go to one down here off of 30th and Home, ML, they do a lot for older people. And I'm right on the edge of being on the older people's side, so I'm staying with them for a minute, man. But at 55 right now, they really helped me out a lot. But I heard once you get up to a certain age, they help you with that, not only that once a month visit, you can come in and they give you commodities where they're, I want to say, give you maybe 4 or 5 extra boxes of good, like cheese and milk products and stuff out of the field, like garden products, you know what I mean? So right now, I always get my canned goods and my dry perishables from the pantry, and it helps me a lot. Because there's some of the canned goods I get that don't really help me, that I don't eat, like hominy, certain corn, peas, green beans, potatoes in a can. I'll either put them to the side and pass them off to my neighbor or somebody that does eat them.
I was being threatened with having my utilities shut off. The utilities were not going to take no for an answer. They wanted me to get a payment made, and I had no money for a payment. I got it in the nick of time to keep my utilities going. So, praise the Lord and praise it, MLM.
Well, my favorite meal that I put together here is probably a salad. I really like the salad is fresh, the fruit that I put in there is fresh, and that and some of the pastry, which I shouldn't be eating, but it's good.
I remember the man who came by, and again, I'm with the blankets, and we have the blankets at the very end of their route. They picked their gifts for everybody in the family, and then they get to the blanket section. I asked him what about a blanket or a quilt, and he said, neither one. And I said, Well, you can have a blanket or a quilt. Which would you like? What size bed do you have? And then he said, I don't have a bed. And I just felt so bad because, I thought you can still take a blanket, but he said save it for somebody else. And since then we've had a sleeping bag every year.
I asked Jim if maybe there's something else I could do besides serving with the food distributions and that they do down here. And he asked me, do you have any construction experience? And I don't. I'm pretty much an office boy when I was working. So I said no, and he said, oh, maybe we can use you anyway.
I'm entering a new chapter in my life, and this is where I'm going for part of it at this time, and that's where I feel I'm being led to do.
I think if the feeling is pretty much the same among all of us, that we just all feel a need to give back.
I've really been touched by some of the people that we have built these ramps for, that they are so grateful for it.
God has just been good. So I was looking for something to do. I'd done remodeling in the past, and Greg actually talked to me about joining this team, and I did it, I think it was early this spring. Been very rewarding work.
I just started since Metropolitan Lutheran put the garden in our neighborhood, and I met Starla, and we have our own personal bids down there, so I thank God for that, because with the high price of food going up and that sort of thing, it's nothing like fresh produce. Snip, 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 snip. Shake them off. And they're tasty too.
Well, actually, there was a friend of mine who introduced me to Jacob. Came down and told him I was looking for employment. There was another gentleman working at the time, made up a resume for me, got me set up using the computers. Jacob is nice enough he gave me bus passes to use to get back and forth, job leads, basically just a lot of work on the computer, going online looking for employment. If I came here to look for employment specifically. So, and I was successful finding employment through here.
We work throughout the hot summer and the cold winter in the storage area that we have at the Metropolitan office over on Holmes. And it's a rewarding thing. Makes you feel grateful for what you have and makes you think about what other people need.